I'm Mark Crompton. I'm from Wilton, New South Wales, and I just won the Forster ABT, the Forster Atomic ABT, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I think I've been here, I think it's probably my fourth trip here. Preparation was, every other time I've been here I've come to try and fish the racks and pretty much failed miserably, and this time I just went, nah, I'm just going to give it a really solid crack. Bought a couple of rods to do it with, and yeah, just set my sights on the racks, and that's, yeah, what become a lucky thing for me, I guess. Okay, so my pre-fish started off running aground. I found the bar down the side over there, and you know, as you do, but you know, it is what it is. And then I just sort of peppered around racks because the water was so dirty. It was very hard for me to see them, so I just used my memory to pick out the ones that I'd seen before, and just went to try and suss out if there were fish on them. A lot of them, not really, because it was the morning, which is what a lot of people found. It was the afternoon thing. So then I went out to the flats, sussed out the flats, had a look out there, got a couple of little fish, and managed to, you know, sort of leave a few spots out there in the memory banks, and then come back into the racks later in the day on pre-fish, and yeah, managed to find a couple that gave me a good game plan. Saw some of the cleaner water, could see some of the racks, the trays, and the trays were the thing that really I was really targeting. So okay, so I used deep cranker crabs were the number one lure that I found. Pretty much about 75 to 80% of my fish came on. Didn't matter colour. I was using olive, I was using cockle, I was using brown. I had a stack of them. I went through about 15 or 16 yesterday. Today, not so many. Mainly because, not for fish doing me, but on the tops of the trays, I was sort of trying to get them to land on the top of the tray, drag it off before it snagged up, and then float back in under. And if I wasn't quick enough on the tray, see you later, bust it off, get another one on. So yeah, look, the crankers were definitely 100% what did it this weekend. So the rods I used were Swamp Donkeys in the Generation Black Daiwa rods. They're a 6'4". They're a heavy stick. They got K guides, so they cast well. Nice open guides. New butts in them this year, the Fuji butts, and they were a broomstick rod that I was just using to leave a fish out. I left no drag. I was running 2500 3Ms reels, and I was literally just locking them shut, and every time I got a bite I would just drag it. I wouldn't even let it turn, nothing, just drag them out. So the line I had was 8-pound J-braid and a 10-pound FC Rock. So the grand final this year is at St George's Basin. Grew up fishing Sussex Inlet when I was a kid, and really excited to have it down there. It's going to be, I know the place reasonably well. The basin, Sussex, I know it back to front. But you know, the basin is it can really lead you into a false sense of well-being down there sometimes. But I think it'll be interesting. I think the last couple of days of it, I think it'll shut down, to be brutally honest. If you don't know that place well enough, I think you're going to have a bit of a tough time possibly. But it will turn it on. I have no doubt that time of year it will turn it on. So.
My name's Stuart Walker. I live just out of Canberra in a place called Jerrabomberra, and I've just won my second ABT event for this year. Day one this weekend was with Mark Brown from Churros out on the flats. I had a pretty good day, probably caught 15 legals for the day, all on Z-Man grubs, 1/16 jig head. Yeah, it was pretty good. Today was a lot tougher, fished with Tim Vickers, and the pair of us only got our 4 fish today, but they weren't too bad fish. They were quite nice size, so it was enough to keep the wolves from the door. Okay, I purchased new Daiwa Silver Wolf rod and reels, two combos this year, so I was using one of those with got the new Evo braid, the Daiwa Evo braid on that. I was fishing 4-pound Sunline BREAM Special leader, and the jig head was a 1/16 headlock and a Z-Man grub in motor oil colour. I don't think they make another colour. It's all I use. It just seems to work so well. I don't know how, but I've only ever fished St George's Basin twice, and mixed results. They weren't. One was a comp and one was a social fish. Obviously I found the fish on the social fish and not in the comp. Being early December, it should be a really good time for fishing for bream down there, so I don't know, I can't wait to get down there and see who I'm going to draw for a couple of days, and we'll work out a plan from there. Yeah, I do have a few people, if that's okay. Matt and the boys that work the weekends at Otto's Tackle World in Fishwick. Chris from Manning River Marine for helping with all my gear. My partner Mel for letting me get away and getting my fishing fix sorted. Atomic for sponsoring this event, but the big thanks go out to the ABT crew again for another fantastic tournament.